Hello boys, my name is Koyoshi. Welcome back to my 100% blind playthrough of Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, the Tower of Doom, better known as the Tower of Repetition. We're gonna have to defeat a giant depleter once again. They really like to throw this enemy in. Ooh, and it starts really close to us too, so we're gonna have to stun it right off the bat here. But that's actually fine. Also, it has a bit less health than the other enemies. I also noticed Giant Magikoopa is the most tankiest enemy. If anybody missed my setup, I should probably show this off just to make sure I'm doing our stuff. This is my team, this is my Sparks, and then here are my trees. Rose, of course, has full uni build because we're going to do the cheat setup again. Peach has reset talent stuff, so she can get resets on her Sparks. Mario has pretty much full damage build. Oh, I should have shown that. We don't have Sight again because I don't think Sight again is going to be great overall for doing a lot of damage. So, yeah. Since we did get lucky with our setup, although we will have to use, a potential... Ooh, wow, yeah, okay. We need to use protection for sure on this turn. So, Peach is going to be the one that does the thing. Anyways, because we got a good setup, we can do the special cheat strategy at the beginning of this battle. And that's basically, we just try to use, our damage buff, see if it works. If it doesn't give at least 100%, or ideally just 150%, we'll just reset again and again until we get the best damage buff. That way we can get a lot of attack power at the very start of the battle. And from here, I honestly don't know what I'm gonna do. I think for starters, I should try to use what I can to do as much damage to the enemies as I can, so... That means for the first time in probably, gosh, who knows how long, we get to use Jump Shot. So here's how Jump Shot works. All it really does is it lets you still attack while in the air. So while you're in the air, you can use an additional attack like I just did now. And it'll do 150% extra damage. Exhaust your action, but it'll let you move around afterwards. It's really cool. It actually lets Mario still move around, but still do an action. And it also gives him additional damage. I think I may have had that before, but I did not use it. Anyways, I'm gonna have him now go behind cover, and then next turn, just to make sure I'm not being silly, Rabbit Rose is gonna go in, not using AoE because she has to use me at the very start of this turn, so we're just gonna do that right now. The idea is you want to stun lock this boss for as long as possible and get as many enemies done as possible. Okay. Well, since I'm in a good position now, we're gonna do attack on this guy. The big enemy, of course. Rabbit Rose is probably going to be the bigger damage dealer here. Oh, I just need to check. And interesting, so he is not resistant to vampires. So vampire's the only way we can do extra damage. And by the way, just to show you, yeah, almost 1,000 damage. Which is almost all of our health at one turn. So, Damage Player, probably one of the most threatening giant bosses you could get at the top. Of course, he must defeat all giant bosses at least once as part of getting the achievement for defeating them all, but after that, it's like, well, it doesn't really matter what you do. Anyway, let's pass the turn before things get silly. Let's hope these are enemies move in so we can start stunning them too. Probably gonna have to stay back a bit more too. Maybe even split our characters up a bit more. Mario will use Heal Shot to get the attack one as it comes in. Should we use the use shot? Why not, actually? Maybe not. Oh, I just realized if I do that, that might impact the way I do that. So I'm gonna move here instead. Peach will now take the spot I just took, or actually maybe I'll go here. Otherwise, the only thing we really do here typically is just cooldown clock to reset the cooldowns so we can immediately stun lock a second time. And now we're gonna also start jassing these guys down a bit. Because we have the stun lock, they'll be put right back into cooldown, and then we just need to refresh the stun lock once in a while. And now we pass the turn because we don't have anything to do. Okay, well, so is definitely gonna hit something. It's probably also the most deadliest attack, because of course it goes through all cover, so that's why the magic Koopa is so threatening. Ooh, we have a good amount of AoE we can use against these portals, though. Alright, for starters, I need to check what happens when this portal explodes. Need to do just enough away that we can the portal, but at the same time still hit the normal portals at the same time. Chances are it's probably not going to happen now, so I think for the safety turn, I think what we want to do is set up Mario so he can hit both portals. Just get these explosions out of the way so we don't have them ruining our AoE setup here. So, we're gonna do that with Mario's turn. So, big explosion. AoE's down a lot of the enemies. And then, we're gonna actually have each dumper AoE and attack now. Because now that she's doing this, it'll be fine. And we'll just do this now. Attack everything. Alright, Peach does not have another turn, so she just attack from here. Alright. It was a bit of a tricky turn we had to do, but thankfully we got most of the enemies done. Or down, rather. I'm gonna dash this enemy to put it in a stun lock right now. Something happens. Oh, we're gonna need to probably heal with our characters eventually on the next turn. Oh, I didn't even see if there was an enemy back there. No, it's not. We got rid of most of it. Alright, so I don't like the Magic Koopa. We'll weaken it as much as we can before we put it into a stun lock again. Of course, the boss will always be immune to all attacks, so it won't do anything. Alright, now in case he breaks out, we're gonna use Hero Sight to catch it off guard. Okay, no, nothing happened. Instead, the characters just took a bit of damage from the poison. Ooh, I think I got a really bad setup with this. So, I think I should actually use the heal now, rather than later. Honestly, Ooze is probably the most annoying status event you can have here, because it actually forces you to heal, which is a bit annoying, unfortunately. It also makes dashing against things risky. And yes, we did get Ooze, but it wasn't from our target, it was from other stuff. For those of you who are new, that's not a weird bug. Ooze is contagious. If you dash an enemy who has Ooze, he will automatically be attacked later. Anyways, we're gonna move our characters up so the portals spawn more close together, ideally. Then we could probably dump AoEs to clear them out. Alright, so because I had to use the heal, by default, Rose is going to have to waste her turn using nap time again immediately, which is a bit annoying, but not much we can do about it. Let's just pass the turn. Okay, interesting. They can still take this damage while stunned, but anything else. Anyway, alright. Ooze is now done for good. Peach has the freebie turn here. Shell. Goodness, I don't know why I spun there. Let's do this first. Remove these enemies and also. That worked good. Okay, we dashed that enemy out of the way. Now we just need to make sure we are hitting both portals at once. He's just gonna be like the main takeouter of the portals, that's for sure. Alright, because we don't have a good turn set up, we're gonna have to just do this as we normally do. Oh, well, before we do that, we should have Mario do his turn first. Which, because we can't do much, it'll just be a dump shot attack. So yeah, we get to do a lot of Nat now. Remembering that's gonna be very confusing, but otherwise, not a lot is gonna change. Pass the turn, quickly do another down clock.
Please work.
Please work. And we don't have our Genesis to really do anything with. Rose is fine now with health though, so we shouldn't have to worry about her dying. Obviously, if Rose dies, this whole plan goes awry, so we definitely need to make sure that he survives as much as we can. Alright, now, Rose needs to use the Uni. So Mario's gonna be the one that does the Strongman, and it was a miss. One thing I did notice a bit about the setups, if you get unlucky and Strongman misses, you can use either AoEs or packs as backups, or actually just use a second Strongman and try to get another stuff, but scenario, it wouldn't work, so I'm just gonna do the normal setup, which is, because she still has a sight, you're just gonna use it to do AoE damage. We'll move a bit closer to try and, yeah, there we go. Get the Command T takeout on both of those portals and still do a lot of damage. And then we'll attack in the air again. Then Rose is just gonna attack Uni. This is actually why I set up Rose this way, because if you do it a different way, Rose could still do stuff. The problem is she wouldn't be able to attack. So, anyways, in case you haven't noticed, by the way, this is a broken strategy, because this is basically an infinite stun lock. For as long as you have cooldown clocks, you can keep this boss stunned for as long as possible. And it's actually really good, particularly against a giant depleter, because he will just heal constantly if he does any damage. Makes it so unbelievably frustrating to do any damage. It's just not even fun how bad it is. Anyway, okay, we got 50% damage. It's not a guaranteed pill on the portals, but that is fine. Alright. It's still more than nothing. Ooh, we got a crit. Nice. Okay, so that took them out right away. I mean, Mario doesn't have to attack one of them instead. Mario is cleanup, by the way. He's pretty much going to attack any portal that survives. Otherwise, he's just going to keep jump shot attacking over and over again. Since this does do a bit more damage than battling normally. The only problem would be if we forgot to use Uni or used a different ability instead. That could definitely happen if you're not ready for it. Alright, cooldown clock.
Please work.
And pass turn. We do have an AoE as Rose, but it's mostly just a backup. Mario, use Strongman. not getting great buffs on this. Not gonna lie. We could be getting a lot better buffs on this, but we're not at all. No crit this time, so the portals did not die, but that's fine. So the backup is Mario will attack, or we can dodge Biz's attack to use an AoE. I think Rose's attack is maybe better to use than doing nothing, so Mario's gonna have to do his normal attack, and he's gonna have to bring up. So he'll take out the portals, unfortunately, so that wastes his attack, but at least gets her attack in. By the way, I call her Riz instead of Rizarina just because that's kind of a short form. It's just easier for me to remember, and the first time I kept saying Rosalina, it almost kind of sounds like this a bit, if you do it, if you, like, say it in a short way. Anyways, another cooldown clock, and then gonna pass the turn. So the basic idea for my loop is... By the way, if you get a turn where the portals don't spawn, you can set it up by just immediately breaking the enemy out and actually stun locking again. There's also a strat where you could just straight up ignore what I'm doing and just do cooldown clock, uni. Cooldown clock uni every turn while your other characters attack instead. I have used that strategy before, but my problem with it is it doesn't do a lot of damage and leaves you at a risk of doing other stuff. So basically, instead, I alternate between the following turns. First, on this turn, I use Strongman with Mario for a good damage buff. Then I have Peach go in. Also, if you have Rabbid Peach instead, you'll have to change up your setup, but I have Peach, so what I'm going to do is attack like this with Peach. She'll take out the portals, ideally. In fact, any great damage buff at Peach will automatically one-shot the portals, assuming you have maximum damage. And Mario jumps in the air, jump shots with the only setup we have. Obviously, this will be different if you have different characters. Rabbid Mario is really good at this as well. If you ever have Rabbid Mario, he is the best character at getting out the portals and can pretty much one-shot them no matter what, with maybe some inconsistencies here and there. But you can always throw AoEs on him to make up for it. Anyways, though, Peach attacks, then attacks with jump, and then Rose just attacks and then... The reason why I like this better is because Rose can actually attack the Balos rather than doing nothing, and this actually helps the damage a lot. In the alternate strategy, Rose can take a free shot at the Balos too if you really need to, but it's probably not recommended. And then otherwise, because Uni lasts for 2 turns, basically I use the free turn to do a cooldown clock and then just pass anyway, so we don't do any damage, but the enemy doesn't break out. And that's very important that we do that, because if it breaks out, they can do a lot of nasty things. This is probably one of the nastiest bosses to let him do something, so you definitely want to make sure you do that. And other than that, there's not much else to say. Bit of a silly but kind of trolly strategy, really. All you really do is this infinitely for 2 or 3 ends in a row, and eventually the boss just dies, and there's nothing else to do that. As long as you set it up correctly, you will pretty much be guaranteed to take out any giant boss. This basically just, as long as you get to this point, you're guaranteed to win against any giant boss, regardless of what it is. Unless it's the giant magic Koopa, which you can see one of my other videos in either Tower Level 5 or Tower Level 6 where I fight them. Tower Level 6 is where I show off the alternative strategy for giant magic Koopas, so use that if you want. And the reason why I mention that is because, of course, Giant Magic Koopa, for some reason, just resists Uni completely. I don't know why. That is supposed to not be a normal bug thing. That's not supposed to work like that. Also, I just realized Vamp Style doesn't really work on. Maybe having Mario use that could be better, but then again, the other characters have to use other stuff, so I guess it doesn't really matter, really. Anyway, another Strongman, not a great one, but we'll probably be able to clean up stuff. Okay, we actually have a secondary setup, so this time, I'm actually just gonna... I forgot to use my flame melee the last couple of times, so let's use this now instead. And then we'll finish it off with Peach's normal attack. Okay, that time it would have taken him out in one shot. Otherwise, though, yeah, not much to say about this boss. You literally just repeat this until he dies, and then when he gets really close to dying, you literally just attack one more time to Spear of Hell, and that's that. And there's not much else you really do at that point. In fact, yeah, he's only at 800 health. I think we can risk it and go for a fail here. After we, of course, keep him to sleep. That is. So, you know what? I am going to do that. So, yeah, I'm going to use a strong man. It's not a great damage buff, but I think that will still work. We'll move Peach closer so she can do a bit more damage. And, yeah, I think we could just finish them off here. So, yeah, we should be able to win the battle now. Oh, not if I do that. Sheesh. That one barrel was gonna get in my way. Okay, alright. Well, this is getting so it doesn't matter. And there you go, just like that. What giant boss? Yeah, it was kind of easy. If you wonder why I reset, to ensure that Rose and, either Peach or Rabbid Peach appear at the start of each battle, well, that's why! So I can do, a skip on that. Anyways, we got a new skin for Luigi, and we got the last challenge level. There's one last boss we will have to set up to defeat. If we don't get that one off, we'll have to probably... I think what I'm going to have to do after that is I'm probably just going to have to farm classic mode, which could actually take several tries until we finally find the giant Magnifowl, and then we, probably will just do a video of just that boss. Save a bit of time, just so I can show you guys that we're 100%. But other than that, yeah, pretty easy battle. Doesn't really matter much. Honestly, the fact that not a lot of people know about this strategy is kind of surprising. And let's be honest, it's kind of cheesy. So yeah, note to self, guys, if you're struggling with the final part of the tower, just use this. And yeah, for the 5 giant bosses, no problem. You can defeat them every single time. In fact, as long as you force yourself to start with Rosalina for sure, Rabbid Rosalina does, and either Peach or Rabbid Peach, you can easily win the battle, no problem. I prefer Peach, though, just because she's great for clearing out the portals and also just helps a lot in survival. But anyways,
Yes.
see you in the next battle, where in the next video, we'll get to do the very last Premium Mode battle. Premium Mode 8, the hardest challenge level out there. I like how the more info also shows how many moves you encountered on H4. So you can get that as well, depending on the stuff. And there we go. Yeah. Alright, well, enough of that. I think that's it for this video, guys. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe. This was a surprisingly fast tower run this time. Not gonna lie, I did that way faster this time. Probably because, well, I got all of the luckiest battles. That actually felt like a speedrun. That took less than 2 hours, which is kind of for this game. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you enjoyed this. Comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.